All of it. GM. Doing well, kitty. Can't complain. I'm getting excited for the Polish meetup. I think that's going to be very exciting in Warsaw. That'll happen. Yeah, there we go, Eugene. So fast. Wow. It's going to be epic. I'm going to be there. Eugene's going to be there. Nadari's going to be there. Alex Pruden's going to be there. You guys, I actually can't believe we're making this happen. We talked about this for a while. I think we started coming up with this idea back at DevCon or even before. It was always like, oh, we got to go to Poland and do a meetup there. And the fact that it's finally happening is so exciting. So I'm very excited. I think it's going to be epic. And I hope to see whoever's in Poland or anywhere else in the world. I expect you to fly in. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. So today we have Alex on the call. I'm good, Sula. How you doing? Thank you. I'm excited to enjoy Poland. There he is, Alex Pruden on the call. So fast. I invite him to speak. Oops. What's cracking?
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you all doing? Collective community? Collective Aleo community? Lifeblood of Aleo? Good to see you.
Lifeblood of Aleo. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, my morning's good. It's a nice day outside for me. Hopefully it's a nice day for other folks. Ha! No, that was last week, thankfully. That's over.
That was really triggering.
Yeah, it was triggering for me too, to be honest.
Yeah, it was horrible.
So, yeah. But it's fully spring now, so that's nice.
Okay, good. It's fully spring. That's good. It's coming close to summer here, so a bit of a difference, but
a little muggy.
Yes, exactly. Like muggy. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel like it's like you're at the tail end of the perfect time in New York. It's like April 15th to May 15th. It's like the perfect time.
Alex, did you do that because you knew my birthday was April 15th, or was that just a very, very lucky day to say?
I forgot your birthday was April 15th, but it does just happen to be the perfect time in New York. It's the start of the perfect season in New York. I mean, it's true.
Perfect time. I do have to say I am someone who adores summer, and I love, when you sweat through all of your clothing. I'm a fan of that weather. A lot of people don't like it, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's the kind of summer. It's like Texas or like Louisiana summer. You can't I guess this is it's not like Kuwait summer or something, right? Or Sahara summer, because you wouldn't sweat. It would just evaporate. Move. Yeah, but
this is the degree of how much I love it. I didn't use an AC unit once last summer.
Wow. How do you sleep, honestly?
I just put a fan on me and I just enjoy the warmth. And I'm like, one day it'll be cold again. So
you just enjoy the warmth. Wow, that's very, you've been powerful mind, I guess, to be able to force yourself to sleep in that situation. I have to take if I don't have AC, which I don't have AC here, to be clear, but it doesn't get that hot often. But when it does, I have to just cold shower. And then, for 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I think I'm cold enough now to hopefully sleep for an hour.
Yeah. Like as if you were jumping in a pool.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, I understand.
Because water radiates more, more effectively than air. So,
yep, exactly.
Conducts heat more effectively than air, rather.
We know that.
Right.
Cool. Welcome everyone to me and Alex's shit talking session.
Yeah, just us BSing, just two people BSing. But hey, I know we're here to talk about your question and the Coinbase puzzle, because that's what everyone loves to talk about. So should we start with the Coinbase puzzle? Is that
yeah, exactly. Can you
jump right in?
That would be great. Jump right in.
Okay. Okay, so as everyone is aware, the Coinbase puzzle is part of our protocol, and the idea is to reward provers for doing work that is, that is beneficial to the protocol. So in Bitcoin, what is defined as beneficial is actually helping to secure the protocol. So it's a key part of the consensus algorithm which drives block production. That used to be how we were actually, and then we went away from having the Coinbase puzzle being what ultimately drove block production and went to a proof of stake system. So now the Coinbase puzzle is a little bit of a relic of that earlier time when we were a proof of work network, but it does still function to help distribute Aleo credits, and that's one reason we're excited about. And the other purpose that it serves is to help accelerate. We're hoping over the medium and long term the development of ZK. So again, to recap, the Coinbase puzzle needs to do two things. The Coinbase puzzle needs to drive the development and advancement of ZK algorithms, and particularly real world applications. So like real world end-to-end proofs. That's the goal, and ultimately hardware around that. And secondly, it needs to be part of the credits distribution, right? It needs to, and what does that mean? It needs to be fair at some level. It needs to satisfy these other properties of proof of work puzzles in, say, Bitcoin, where it can't be amortizable, it can't be gameable, and it's got to be, roughly speaking, proportional. The rewards, roughly speaking, proportional to the amount of effort, aka energy, that people put in. So those are the two goals. So we have a current, let's see, actually the current version, we swapped out the old version. So there's the old version of the Coinbase puzzle was a KZG commitment. KZG commitment is part of a broader proof generation. It's kind of like one step within the proof generation process. That was kind of our initial direction, but that approach has some problems. Namely around, I mean, it is actually a really key part, at least in proof generation or for our proof system and how we see, ZK developing. We think KZG is going to continue to be an important part of that. So that kind of box is checked, but it's a little bit gameable. And in particular, I think we observed in testnet phase 3.2 that teams were kind of able to figure out how to skip certain steps, able to circumvent part of the process, and overall, just both the algorithm for the Coinbase puzzle for KZG was a little bit gameable and it was a little bit amortizable. It didn't have really ideal properties for a proof of work puzzle, and because of the way people were actually performing it, it wasn't really serving the first purpose either. So we started developing a new Coinbase puzzle late last year, and we've been working on that, and we're going to release it as part of mainnet. Now, we have since replaced the KZG puzzle. I believe we've done this. I'll just go back and double check if this actually got put in, but I know there was talk of replacing it with just a placeholder. I think it's just SHA-3 at the moment in the testnet beta branch. So there's a placeholder Coinbase puzzle. That is not going to be the final. That's just, it's just the interface or the API is effectively going to be the same for the final puzzle, but we have that in there as a placeholder. And then once the final puzzle, we've completed testing in it, we will drop it in and it'll be open sourced. And that will be 30 days before mainnet launch. That's the plan. All right. We want to do it 30 days before mainnet launch. That way everybody can get the information about what it is and what it does and how to do it at the same time. We don't want to put anybody ahead of anyone else. We want to do all that at the same time. And this new puzzle, again, we're trying to improve upon the two dimensions that I mentioned were important. One is the amortizability, gameability, making sure this is roughly speaking fair, aka for, you put in 1 unit of work, you get 1 unit of reward. And then two, this is what we've built is actually closer to, it's a little bit more representative of a full proof generation process. Like it's not just a KZG commitment, which can kind of be parallelized in its not entirety, but a lot of it can be parallelized, which I think is great for that part of the process. But overall, there's other parts of the proof generation process that are not factored in. And so it ends up not being that applicable. So that is the highlight. I will end by saying the thing that I have said now for the last 6 months, which is that the current puzzle is not final. It is not final. It will not be final until the day of mainnet, right? So we're going to open source the puzzle and we're 30 days early, and that's the plan. I mean, there's always a risk though that something doesn't work with that, and we decide it's like, hey, this is broken. So on the day of mainnet, the Coinbase puzzle will be final. Like that's what everybody should think about. I mean, and anything that you see currently in the code base is not final. And do not, if you want my advice, do not invest in optimizing against it because it's not going to be there. So that is that's my spiel. That's it.
Thank you, Alex.
I just had a panic attack. I'm like, wait, did I cut out there? And that
No,
was like
no.
a 10-minute rant.
No. Yeah, it's always alarming when you're like, wait, did no one hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's very helpful. And that basically, it goes through all of the main questions that people had prior to this. I want to talk briefly about this idea that we had from a validator who was who's considering potentially contributing to dev tools. And
Yeah. Saw that.
is there anything you can advise on this topic, like how they should start? Anything like specific that you want to see?
Things specific that I want to see or where to start. Let me think about where to start. So where to start? I would look at Awesome Aleo. We have that GitHub repo. I'll share the link in a second here, but there's a GitHub repo that's on the AleoNet.org that's called Awesome Aleo, and it's just a list of everything that people have built on Aleo. So there's like hundreds of things on there. So I would start there and just see what tooling exists and see where the gaps are. At this point, we have there's a couple good teams building explorers and wallets and the infrastructure required to support those, aka scanners. I think there is a couple teams, at least from a while back, that were building proving pools, which I think is a really cool idea. I think, I think there's a bunch of different, I don't know, like I'd have to think about specifically and go through Awesome Aleo to see specifically where the gaps are. But look, I think this is part of the answer here. I think has to come from the application builders themselves, right? Because I'm not currently focused on building an application. I would love to have some time to build an application on Aleo, but at the moment, I'm not building anything, right? But I think the application builders, as they're trying to solve a problem, are going to find gaps, what doesn't exist currently, and I'm sure there are many, many, many things that exposing or having some infrastructure support would be very helpful. The obvious one that people are already working on this, but one obvious one that I'll just mention because it's unique to our ecosystem is this concept of scanning, right? So in a typical blockchain like Ethereum, everything's indexed by your end owner account, or just by account balance, account dash balance rather. And in our case, in private for kind of privacy preserving transactions, in the record model, it's more UTXO, but the UTXOs are encrypted. So you've kind of got to know, if you're just booting up a client, you kind of got to figure out which ones are yours. And so that process can be a little bit intensive. But there are teams like Crya and DMOX have already built implementations of scanners, but maybe they can be improved upon. So I don't know. I was a bad answer, but a lot.
Good to know. That came to us from let me get his name. Oh, Pavel. Is Pavel here? Let me see. Pavel. I don't know if he is. Okay, sweet.
Getting to be some good turnout this morning. Let's see. Are we going to get to 200, Viv? Oh, we're at 197. We went down one. Someone left. They didn't like that.
We'll definitely get to 200. 198.
Oh, we're back. Oh man,
I didn't even post an announcement for this. We will definitely.
Whoever has an alt Discord, join right now so we can get to 200 and feel good. No,
truly. Truly, all of you guys join. 198. This is, why? Because we started to tell ambassadors that if they go to 3 in a row, they get points.
Ooh, all right.
There's reason to join these calls. Apart from the fact that there's an amazing conversation and very good information flow, obviously.
That's right.
But,
that's right.
Okay.
People get to hang out with us, the coolest people in the ZK protocol building space.
I don't know if that's actually an honor. I don't know how high that bar is.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it too hard.
Don't think about it too hard. We're at 199. We just need one more for 200.
Oh man. Oh god, we're so close. Okay. What else? While we're waiting for that, epic moment, pivotal moment. What's the next question?
Okay, let's answer this question from Simon, who's saying, from the latest developer summary, how does mainnet dress rehearsal mean? What does it mean? How will it take place?
Ooh, mainnet dress rehearsal is basically like we're gonna try and generate the genesis block a little bit early. So with the idea, let's see, let me go back. Okay, so the plan is to boot up a network that, if all goes well, will become mainnet. And we're gonna have our partners that we're planning on having day one be integrated into that. We're gonna generate the Genesis block with all the balances that need to be allocated. And basically, we're just going to boot up and start running the network with the validators that have been selected. And initially, it's going to be kind of closed off from everybody, but then so we're just going to kind of test everything, make sure it works on the validator side, make sure we can produce blocks, etc. And then basically, when we feel ready, we're going to say, "Hey, Aleo is live. Everyone connect. Like the ports are open. This is the network. To the extent that we're able to, get listed. To the extent that we're like listed on exchange or something like that. Like that will be the point at which like the Aleo credits are actually a thing." And so that's kind of the idea for dress rehearsal. Basically, we're going to start up early, make sure everything works, and then once we're confident everything works, we'll say, "Hey, world, this is live." And that's pretty typical, just for everyone's kind of awareness. It's pretty typical of how most blockchain networks are launched these days. Most blockchain networks start in some kind of like beta period, which can be longer or shorter. My view is we've done a ton of testing. I mean, if we did what some other networks do, like our testnet 3 would have been our mainnet beta alpha or whatever, but we've already validated and tested a lot of our software or a lot of the protocol. So I feel like, all we need to do is just one last dry run. And then if that network, that history, or if that network ends up working, then that history will become the canonical history. Hopefully it's helpful. Oh, wow. We're 205, Viv. Did you notice that?
Oh, I've been watching it actively.
All right, good.
Okay, here's an interesting one. Luke from Puzzle. Hey, Luke is asking Alex your thoughts on the Tornado Cash dev being sent to jail for, I think he got a 4-year sentence.
Great question. Yes, he got a 4-year sentence. So this case, it was this week the ruling came out, and this is a just kind of reminder to everybody. The Tornado Cash developers were indicted in 2 jurisdictions, one in the Netherlands and one in the U.S. So this was the Netherlands case. And yeah, the defendant got jail time. Interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So, okay. So first off, my view is, I think it's tragic that, somebody is being held liable for software that they wrote, even though they didn't do anything bad with that software. So my personal view is that I disagree with that ruling. I think, I very much believe that software, code is speech. I'm kind of a believer in that principle. And so I don't think it's right that someone's held accountable for, the code that they write necessarily. It's just the people should be held accountable for how it's used. People who use it should be held accountable. So that's kind of my personal view on the matter. I think it is the case that there was a lot of that. If you read the actual court, like the ruling, there's a lot of emphasis placed on the front end and like how, because the front end was not decentralized, that was like really the thing they honed in on, which I think, look, it's something that everybody in this, who's building kind of privacy preserving technology needs to think about is like, there's, even though you can build like a decentralized protocol, there is kind of this reality of, building the tooling and front ends around things, at what point does that become enabling and actually using? So I thought that was kind of interesting. I mean, it's just something that people need to remember. And I think, frankly, like if you look at other protocols like Uniswap, who's not, I don't think, not facing this level of scrutiny from like the FinCEN or OFAC side, but they face a lot of scrutiny on the securities law side. They've had to really walk this tightrope, and I think they're very careful about it, which I think, if you could say anything about the Tornado Cash devs, I mean, you could say many things about them, but I think one thing you could say is like they were less careful. I think it was clear that they knew bad things were going to happen, and a lot of other people knew bad things were going to happen, and they let them happen, or they didn't do anything. The impression was that they didn't do anything to stop it, and I think they could have changed that impression with, I think they could have done something between what they did, which was nothing, and like, trying to block people or something. I think there's a middle ground there that I don't think a lot of people appreciate. Anyway, all that to say, wrapping up, I think it'll be really interesting to see how the other case plays out in the U.S. court system, because in the U.S., at least, the kind of the way the legal system works is there's a lot more kind of, I don't know, you could, what the legal term is, preference. There's a lot more favor kind of paid towards individual rights and and First Amendment protections, which is speech particularly. And like I said, the principle which I talked about earlier, code of speech. I mean, that's never been. I mean, it hasn't really been challenged. I mean, I think this could honestly be a case where that ends up being brought up. But I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But frankly, I don't know. I'm not really qualified to comment on this, but like my money is that they will not ultimately succeed in indicting this individual, just based on what I've seen from the Netherlands court documents, because like all of those, like the evidence and like the justification, I don't think would fly in the U.S. legal system. They'd have to find something else, which maybe there is something else, but my current read is I think that the protections in the U.S. are pretty strong, and I think this is an important case. So, kind of interested to see how it turns out. Thanks for the question, Luke.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think everyone was glued to news yesterday about it. We'll see. Yes, we are at 215, 216. We just keep climbing up there. Let's see.
Is 300 the new 200? Feels like it might be.
It feels like it might be, yeah. Well, at first I was gonna be like, "Oof, that's tough," but why not? Why not shoot for the moon?
Yeah, that's right. And
yeah,
we're ambitious people here at Aleo.
Exactly.
We're trying to reboot the internet. Remember that, Viv. So rebooting the internet. That's big dreams.
What does that mean to you, Alex? I still don't understand what that really means.
It means I'm pressing I've got an internet, which is it's like my physical. It's the physical instantiation of the thing I'm using right now. And there's a power button, and I'm pressing the power button because it got the blue screen. It got the blue screen of.
So you're just you're turning
surveillance.
Got it.
I got the blue screen of surveillance, and I want to I need to power cycle it. That's what I think it is. That's what it means to me.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, you got it. It doesn't sound like you got it, but that's okay.
No, I got it. I mean, trust me, I often have to reboot all of my stuff, so I get it.
Power cycle. For anyone who's running an Aleo node, they know all about power cycle and how important it is.
Yeah, that's actually really true. And they know it may be a little too late.
Yeah, exactly. It hits too close.
It hits too close. Okay, Callan, yes, I see your question. When will the governors start working? We're basically finalizing the process for what it looks like when we're trying to finalize how we judge governors. We don't want it to be like you are a governor and then you have that role forever. We want there to be expectations that people have to meet. And so we're kind of working on we're smoothing those out this week. And officially governors can start. You guys have you guys know what what you guys got to do as governors. So we should kind of go to governance for a bit. You guys check out the Loose Thoughts thread. I know Alex posted there last night. There's in the proposals, we have ARC 20. We're really, really working more to bring everything onto this governance thread. So there's like all conversation around governance, around upgrades happens on Discord. Everyone can see. And with that, we're going to do two things too. We're going to, as you guys know, I post every other Monday about these weekly core dev calls that we host. And so far, we've been keeping it to folks that are kind of more on the ground with the network, but we are going to be opening that up. We're going to be hosting it on Discord in this same chats version. Where we'll have everyone from the core dev call as a speaker, and then anyone from the audience can join. Anyone at all can join and listen in. And we'll have a chat running with questions. It's not guaranteed that we'll get to those questions because those core dev calls tend to run a tight time. It will just be efficient. And so we're going to start doing that on Fridays. I believe it's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. It's not every Friday. It's every other Friday. And so, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, which I understand is early for some of you guys, but hopefully that's okay for those who want to join. And
we can talk about kind of shifting around that time in future weeks, or maybe having a couple different calls. I think we're trying to start with one, and we're trying to find the time that works best for everyone. But just know, everybody, that we're open to feedback, and and this is just kind of a starting point that we can iterate from.
Yeah, and this also brings me, we're going to be having, the Provable team has graciously offered to host Leo office hours. If you guys remember these, we were doing these a few months back on Google Meets, and we're going to bring them back. Provable is going to bring them back. I created a new chat voice channel. Whew, I'm losing it. A new voice channel in the engineering called Leo Core Devs Call. And you guys will see this right under Snark OS. All questions in Leo language. If you have any questions about Leo, then please post them in the Leo language channel. And then once a week on Tuesdays, Provable engineers will join on the Leo Core Devs Call, and they will basically go back and look at the questions that were posted on Leo language and that weren't answered, and they will answer them, and then they will do a little presentation on Leo updates. So this is also happening, I believe, on Tuesdays at noon. I believe is the time. I will have to check that. So yes, these are two very exciting things that are going to be happening. You guys can check them out on the community call calendar as well. You'll see the Leo Core Dev Call link there. 222. Look at us. Wow, 300. Please, we should start aiming for even higher. And yeah, that's gonna be that's kind of where we're going with this Discord. We're just trying to be more, not even more active on it, but just kind of like bring you guys more into the conversations that we're having, whether it's on Slack or wherever. Because we want you guys, we want your input, and we want this to really start to feel like everyone has stake in this community. So that's the current game plan.
Yeah. See, Viv, we're at 222, and look, that all came from your faith, your ironclad faith in the community. So I want you to close your eyes. Okay. I want you to just believe in this community and just believe in the power of Aleo, and then I want you to open your eyes and see if we have more. Oh, we have less, actually. You didn't believe hard enough.
Great. Every time I believe,
people were like, damn it. All right. Okay. Well, we're going to try that next week. Maybe it'll work then. Maybe we need to do it at the beginning of the call. But thanks for playing, Viv. I appreciate that.
No, it's fine. That's what I've been told my whole life. Every time you believe too hard, it just won't happen to you. So this is good that this is once again.
God, now I feel guilty because I've just reinforced that for you. You could have been, I don't know. You could have been.
I know. I could have had just a groundbreaking moment then where I was like, wait, maybe.
You're like, wait, I can believe, and I can believe anything I believe I can do. But now I've just reinforced the negative cycle. Damn. All right. Cool. Well, I'll take that to the rest of my day. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yeah,
hey, I have a last question. Wait, I have a last question. We have 2 minutes. Someone asked, I think it was Pavel, who may or may not be here, but Pavel asked, hey, what can people build? Luke, is Luke still in here? Let me find it. Because I was going to say Luke should answer that question, because Luke is building an application and a bunch of infrastructure, and I wanted to hear what Luke thinks. Luke, come up here and tell everybody what you think from your perspective is infrastructure that people should work on for Aleo, if you would like.
If you would, oh yeah, let's go, Luke. Oh, perfect. Invite to speak. Bring him on stage. Luke, welcome.
Hey everybody, what's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing. What's going on with you?
I'm at a coffee shop, so I wasn't exactly planning on speaking, but yeah. Okay, so what's the question exactly? Infrastructure to build?
Correct. So someone asked, what kind. They basically want to build some infrastructure for Aleo, and they're like, what's missing? What needs to be built? And I was curious on what your take is, because you guys obviously built a full app, lots of cool, in addition to a bunch of infrastructure, a wallet. What do you think's missing? What would you be excited to see someone build on the Aleo ecosystem?
That's a great question. I mean, we've already kind of built all the infrastructure that we need. I think there's already a lot of great explorers out there. I hope Haruka comes back soon. I'm not sure. I hope they're all right. But yeah, honestly, like, I feel like the infrastructure side of things might already be good to go. I think a couple of us wallet teams have our own RPCs for chain information, but I don't think any of them are really that fully featured or publicly accessible. So that could be something interesting. But yeah, especially us at Puzzle, we're super excited about games and everything that could be in there. So We'll actually have some announcements coming soon for people who want to build some games and integrate it into our forthcoming arcade. So everyone could have like some play some games and earn some rewards, and then actually redeem those for real world things. So I know that's a little bit of a plug, but that's the closest information I got as far as like infrastructure to build. It's actually just, I think there's some,
that's
some
cool.
fun games and some other apps to build. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's interested in picking my brain more about, infrastructure specifics or anything like that, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, Luke is a great resource, and the puzzle team generally a great resource for building on Aleo because they've done it. They've walked the path. They know all the pain. They know all the painful ways that you can get stuck. They know all the gotchas that are somewhere hidden in Leo or something, right? And the limitations as well as the capabilities of the model. So thank you, Luke, for volunteering that. And I would encourage anybody to, reach out to those guys and check out what they're building. It's really cool. And this is, I guess, maybe just to cap off, I guess it's sort of, you echoed what I said, Luke, which is that applications, I think, building applications, like, what's cool. What's a use case for ZK? What's a use case for this privacy preserving network that we have? Let's try something. And then as we try something, we're going to realize, hey, wait, there's more stuff we need here. Like Oracle infrastructure is actually another one. That is really big. I mean, people have there's Chainlink, right? The Chainlinks of the world, are plugged into Ethereum and everything, but there's I think an opportunity to build something kind of more bespoke or and maybe not a bespoke Oracle network, but a way to integrate an Oracle network like that into Aleo using ZK. And I think that could be that's a whole entire category. It sort of touches infrastructure a little bit, but I think it's in many ways an application too. So that's another area I would encourage people to look at.
Yeah, totally.
Sweet. Well, with 215 folks in the audience, 11:02, and a whole lot of fun. Thank you guys all for joining the Aleo community call on Wednesday. We will be on Discord. We'll be around. Alex, you got any brilliant last words of encouragement for me before I realize that it's all belief means nothing?
No, yeah, I want to share my favorite Arabic proverb. And I'll say it in Arabic, and people in here who speak Arabic probably laugh at me, but it goes as follows. You ready? Al-waqt kasayf in lam taqtu katak. And it means the following, Viv.
Yep,
time is like a sword. Either you cut it or it cuts you. There you go. With that wisdom and that maybe extra motivation to seize the day, I send you off.
Oh boy, that is my MO.
Is that more pressure? Was that helpful, or was it just more?
Actually, I'm glad you said that. It feels like an enormous amount of pressure, and now I'm like, oh my god, time is cutting me, and I need to take over control of time. So I'm having an existential crisis, but no one be alarmed or concerned. It'll come in the form of absolute rants on Discord in the discussion channel, so you guys will all be able to catch the spiral.
Oh god, I'm sorry, ambassadors. For you ambassadors, I apologize what I just did for you. But once Viv goes to Poland, once we all, by the way, I guess last note, hey, see a few of you guys in Poland. I think actually the next community call I'll be on, I may actually physically be in Poland for that. I'm not sure. I have to think about the dates, but yeah, I think that will be in 2 weeks, right? So see many of you guys in Poland, or for those who can make that meetup. And thanks, Viv, so much for organizing that.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Alex. See you guys soon. We'll be on the Discord, and we appreciate you guys. Have a good Wednesday.
Yep, thanks, guys. See ya.
Yeah.